watching the Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Fahim Anwar, Moshe Kasher, Ed Gamble, Reese James, Natasha Leggero, Milton Jones, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of rounds, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. There's no black people here, so we'll see who I pick. We've got lots of great games for you, so let's start with a game we call What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue, and your where is a thriller movie. So let's hear some deleted dialogue from a thriller.
For years, people have mocked me for mispronouncing words in crucial moments. Well, today's the day I will have my revenge.
A small amount of lettuce. Something tells me that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
That was good.
This is actually from a film called Non-Binary Bond. The name's Bond. They-mes Bond.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning and a nice lavender pillow spray in the evening.
We're gonna need guns. Lots of guns. Let's go to Walmart.
I'm not quite sure why I lost my job with MI5 as an interrogator, and I didn't like to ask.
We're gonna find this so-called job killer, and when we do, he's going down for a very long time.
This is Rogue Leader. We are tracking the confused eagle now. Confused eagle? No, that's what we call Joe Biden.
You're not the president, you're wearing a disguise! Oh my God, I've just ripped the president's face off!
You talking to me? You talking to me? Oh, you are? Oh, good. It's been a long pandemic. I'm so lonely.
Your life is awful.
I am gonna kill Bill. I'll do anything that rhymes with your name. Does anyone know a Chuck?
What are you gonna do to me?
Oh, don't ask me that. This one is from Jewish Bond. The name's Bond. Howard Bond. I'm an attorney.
Donde está el baño, baby?
On entering the house, we found a feline jammed into the Xerox machine. We think it was a copycat crime.
The killer has left his fingerprints all over this lamp, or her fingerprints, and he or she has also left behind a lot of semen.
All right, based off of semen, it's on Reese. Now we move on to a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. So the category is modern life. Tell me some jokes about modern life.
I don't have kids, and I always thought I didn't want them. And then the other day, I was at a big family event, and there's a new little baby in our family, and the baby was flicking the light switch back and forth and really laughing and giggling. I was like, oh, I've felt this feeling. I was like, oh, God, maybe I want kids. And then the baby went away, and I started flicking the light switch. I was like, oh, no, that's what I wanted.
I find autocorrect on my phone is always super off, right? Have you experienced that? It's like, if you ask me, this smartphone is not so smart. It's pretty duck and stupid, honestly.
Autocorrect for me, too. Like, one time, I was running late for something, and my friend was like, where are you? And I was like, 10 blocks away, but my phone changed it to 10 blacks away.
Y'all can laugh at that, I'm laughing.
It makes me look like I measure distance by racism.
I love that thing that you have that washes your bottom after you go to the toilet. What do you call it? The kitchen sink?
We just bought, like, a fancy new security system in my house, and I set the alarm off first day we had it. I was about to have a shower, set the alarm off, ran downstairs to turn it off, and then remembered that I bought the one that takes photos. So I was just butt naked in my hall, and it went, took this full-length nude of me, and then I remembered that that photo goes straight to the alarm company. And I immediately got a phone call from them panicking about a small-penised intruder in my hall.
Oh, I actually got questioned about that.
Why would your shower set off your alarm?
Well, what I always find about humorous material is it's good to dig down into the nitty-gritty. You're a factual woman, and I respect that. I opened the window to let some of the steam from the shower out.
Oh, you got hot water, fancy. You see this flex? Wow!
I got burgled the other day, actually, while I was genuinely burgled, not just a fake story like yours.
You got burgled.
I was burgled.
Burgled?
What's the word for it in this country?
Rob.
I don't know, when you say, just when you say burgled with your look, it just sort of seems like Harry Potter lost his wand, you know?
Well, I got burgled, missus, and it was ever such trouble. What happened is, I was in the house, right? My back door, it turns out, was unlocked. Got out of the shower, and I realised, an intruder has been here, and my laptop was gone, and I thought they could still be in the house, right? So I need to pick up a weapon, just in case, to defend myself. And I'm not saying that I deserve to be robbed, but the thing I picked up as a weapon was a bottle of champagne.
Tricky these days, isn't it, if you're both a moth and a sea captain. In charge of a ship, but up ahead you see a lighthouse. And you know you shouldn't. But you want to.
Dulce, I want to be honest, if my story confused you, Milton is going to you up.
Your story was great. You, shower, penis, got it. He just gave me a moth with a job. Why would you let such a tiny creature drive a giant ship? He can't even turn a wheel.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've made a lot of this up.
You're tuned back into the Great American Joke deconstruction, ladies.
Did you see the other day the inventor of Zoom said, if I could commute...
Google search history is depressing, though. If you ever look at your Google search history, it's a really bleak insight into your life. Like, my last 3 searches have been can cats eat yoghurt, carpet cleaner, and cat funerals.
I know I'm getting older, actually, because a lot of the porn stars I like the most have just started getting work in the MILF category. I'm like, whoa, you're still a bratty stepsis as far as I'm concerned. But good to see you still getting stuck in that washing machine. Some people never learn.
I don't understand that joke.
How can you in a washing machine?
The internet is a scary place, though, because do you know people can hack into your webcam, film you doing, like, private stuff, and then put a video of you, like, doing private stuff on the internet? Well, I've found out a way around this, because it's really easy to have a video taken down if there's been breach of copyright. So now whenever I just scream Coca-Cola, Burger King, McDonald's.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life. Ta-da!
Well done, all of you. The winner of that round is Ed for being so charming. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the joke. Now we play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image, and our comedians suggest captions. So, let's take a look at this image. What's going on here?
Is this bloke thinking, if she doesn't turn up soon, I'm going to look ridiculous?
I don't get it. You said you wanted space.
You go in absolutely impenetrable technology protecting against viruses and infections. We will not let monkeypox get us like COVID. I forgot to order gloves. I forgot to order gloves.
have a husband and a kid, so this picture is my fantasy.
Disappointing turnout at the Chernobyl tea rooms.
If he farts, he definitely knows it was him.
It's the most popular coffee shop in Wuhan.
This is the last time I agree to have coffee with Vladimir Putin.
It's the break room in Squid Game.
Is he trying to work out why Face ID's not working on his phone?
Thank you all. Let's have a look at this picture.
Is this how the mafia threatened someone at Christmas?
Okay, let me think. The last thing I remember was going to an after party at the zoo.
When I told you I wanted to mount and stuff this deer...
I love that. You just nodded at them and they applauded.
There was a lot of emotion that happened. They were like, no, wait, maybe, absolutely yes.
We got it together. It's like mountain stuff, mountain stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this a man regretting signing up to Canadian Tinder?
I think this is how you become a man in Finland.
Is this me in the dressing room earlier?
Is he saying, I thought you said Santa wouldn't be home for ages?
If anyone asks, I shot you.
You all know that feeling when you wake up drunk next to a human man?
Bambi 2 is darker than the original.
Remember when they put chocolates on the pillow?
I want to that reindeer. I don't have any legs.
All right. That round was too close to call, so I'll give it to Reese as a gift. Moving on, it's time for a round called Good News, Bad News. I read out a piece of good news, and everyone else has to give me some bad news to counter it. So, let's see what the good news is. I've just met your parents. So, if the good news is I've just met your parents, what is the bad news?
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is I'm going to need a new windshield.
Okay, the good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is your dad has no gag reflex.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is they're also my parents, so the wedding's off.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is it was on my OnlyFans.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is it was in my capacity as a taxidermist.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is that it was at a séance.
The good news is I just met your parents. The bad news is it was after the opera and you're Batman now.
The good news is I just met your parents. The bad news is I didn't realize it was that Donald and Melania.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is they have your birth certificate, Peter Pan, and you're under arrest for kissing a minor.
I know why you looked at me like I know Peter Pan.
Suddenly, well, you're wearing green, but also...
So are you! And you look like Peter Pan!
You know what happened is... I genuinely, the thought that entered my head was, hang on, do they have minors in America?
Of course we have minors in America.
Yeah, we have them. I can show you where to find them, too, don't you?
And now I can't stop thinking of you as Peter Pan.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is I can't find my shadow.
The good news is I just met your parents. The bad news is now I see where you got your terrible looks and personality.
The good news is I've just met your parents. The bad news is that wasn't the stripogram I was expecting.
The good news is I've just met your parents, so cover your ears, Bambi.
The problem with this is they're either dead or they're getting...
off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called Mincing Your Words. The way this works is that our comedians have to combine two unlikely things and make us laugh. So let's see what combination you'll be working with tonight. Musical artists and meat. Off you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Cardi beef.
Madonna kebab.
Limp brisket.
Lisa Ribeye Lopez.
A deli.
Chic-Kendrick Lamar. Chic-Kendrick Lamar.
I'd love some delicious chicken if anyone's got any.
Celine Dion.
Pyork.
Billie Eilish.
Ariana Grande beef burrito.
Lemony crab bits.
Kebab Dylan.
Fleetwood Big Mac.
This is amazing.
Arcade, fire up the barbecue. I'm going to cook some lovely meat.
R.A.M.
I don't get it.
It's
Ram.
R.E.M. and the famous meat Ram.
Okay, enough already. You were all great in that round, but Milton wins because of that shirt. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to your pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to come up with pickup lines those people might use. Let's try this one. Fairy tale characters.
I'm Peter Pan, and I'm going to kiss some minors.
Hi-ho!
Peter Pan. Tinkerbell's going to meet us over by the patio heater.
I may be a cowardly lion, but I ain't scared of that ass.
The more I lie, the bigger it gets, baby.
Did you know there's actually 8 dwarves? I'm horny.
Okay, Cinderella, let's see if it fits.
Grandma, what big you have?
Thank you, Sonny.
Call me Jack, because I've been stalking you.
My name is Tom Thumb, but it grows.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, does it match down there?
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your mind.
Forget Beauty and the Beast. If this crockery keeps talking like this, tonight I'm going to be doing the dishes.
I don't care if it's to break a spell, Grumpy. A sleeping damsel cannot give consent.
They call me Rumple Foreskin. I'm somehow more Jewish than the original Rumple Foreskin.
Girl, is your name Humpty Dumpty? Because you're about to get smashed.
You shall go to the balls.
I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke-Off this week are Milton Jones, Reese James, and Moshe Kasher. So congratulations to you. too bad for Fahim Anwar, Ed Gamble, and Natasha Leggero. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You're watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismael Lucy, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
I'll tell you, these e-cigarettes are stupid, you know? The only time it's appropriate to smoke an e-cigarette is after you had sex with a sex robot.
You know what annoys me is Zoom meetings, because I'm always late to them. It's my own apartment. What excuse can you make? Hey, sorry I was late. I don't respect you. That's it.
You know what annoys me is when actors on a TV show start directing and producing that same exact TV show. I'm sorry, can we actually go to camera 4 for this one? Let's go. Let's go back to camera 4. Everybody, places. Okay, rolling, action. You know what annoys me is when...
I'm glad you clarified that with an act out, because I was like, damn, Ismael's a hater.
You know what annoys me is gender reveal parties. I find them so creepy, this whole party, just to see what gender someone's child is. My parents had a gender reveal party for me, actually, which was hurtful because I was 8 at the time.
Which one was it?
You know what annoys me is that we only have gender reveal parties for babies. I think we should have gender reveal parties. You know whenever a famous politician gets caught with a prostitute? That moment of suspense, you turn on the news, they're like, Senator Robert Hutcherson, a vocal opponent of gay rights, was caught today with a prostitute. And you're just like, please be a boy. Oh, man. Red state blue balloons, you know? The confetti is just a shredded NDA.
You know, you look like Senator Hutchinson and Riss looks like the boy.
I'll see you in the airport bathroom.
Yay, love connection!
You know what annoys me? Why do married people have monogram towels? What is that? You think I'm gonna come in your bathroom and you don't have your initials on your towels? And I'm gonna be like, are these my towels? Whose towels? I'm taking these.
You know what annoys me? They let you pick your seat on an airplane. I'd rather pick who I'm sitting next to. I don't really care where I am on the plane. I'm worried about who I'm gonna be conversing with for 5 hours. You know, they should make it more like a dating app. Obese Nazi with a service dog, swipe left. Tiny Asian lady with a surgical mask, now we're talking. But then she comes on with a baby and I'm like, I got catfished.
You know, I started comedy in Philadelphia, and I'm a storyteller comedian, so there was buzz about me. People were like, this girl, she's like a young female Bill Cosby. Now nobody ever brings it up.
You know what annoys me is hypocrisy, you know? Like, how come if a girl is sat there, like, seductively licking her lips, that's sexy. But if I'm doing that, I should get off her lips.
You know what annoys me? You ladies on the dating apps. You're all a bunch of height supremacists.
You're not short.
Oh, thank you.
I'm here to help, friend.
I'll go up on you.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said to me. And I've known him for 10 years.
You know what annoys me? That the Riddler is still a man. It's 2022. The Riddler is a villain who tortures his victims by making them solve puzzles he already knows the answer to. I think a woman is more qualified for that role. Come on! Lady Riddler! She would crush it just playing mind games with Batman. Like, if you want to save Gotham, you have 9 hours to figure out why I'm mad at you.
You know what annoys me? Technology. I find technology very confusing. You know, the other day I sent a pic to my older sister, and, instead of my younger sister.
You know what annoys me? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy. You're like, oh, what a bummer I'm not gay. This guy is a 10, you know? Being hit on by a really hot gay guy, it's kind of like finding $1 million pesos. You're like, I can't do much with this now, but once I cross that line, I'll be set.
Thank you very much. I think the winner of that round was Mark Norman, so give it to his team. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue and your where is from a sci-fi movie. Okay, so let's hear some deleted dialogue from a sci-fi movie. Take it away.
I came here to do 2 things. Create a recursive paradox and do 2 things.
Oh my God, the amulet has come to life. You know what this means? Our table at TGI's is ready.
Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. I accidentally shrunk the penis.
Welcome back to Jerry Springer. Darth Vader, you are not the father!
The Terminator has disguised himself as a human among us. We're going to need everyone to tell us which of these pictures does not contain a stop sign.
Oh no, it's the thing.
Sorry I'm late, everyone. I was just in my bunk having what we refer to here on the Falcon as a hand solo.
Oh, oops, I ate the red and the blue pill. You were taking a while to explain.
Yeah, it turns out those weren't his dark materials. We found his dark materials on a hard drive. He's now on a register.
Isn't it weird we have laser beams and lightsabers, but no smartphones?
Well, time is a relative construct based on a person's frame of reference, so from my perspective, she was 18.
Welcome to Earth, and keep my wife's name out your
Right. Well, thank you very much. I think the winner of that round is just Luke. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are gonna do stand up and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's going to be. Ooh, Ismael and Reed. So you 2 both go to the stand up area. All right, Ismael, you're going first. So let's see what your subject is. Politicians. Okay, off you go.
Actually, I love watching politicians do politics, like give speeches. It's great because they go up there and they wiggle their thumbs and they're performers. you know? And we're performers, and they're worse. None of them could do this. If Joe Biden was here right now, he would fart and die. Like, he could, you know what I mean? This is a lot of pressure. At least it's fun to watch, though. Like, most politicians are boring as hell. They have the worst speeches. And here's the interesting thing, is that they have writers that are apparently the smartest people in the world. You know, there's these guys from Yale and Harvard writing their trash speeches. Like, Yale had nothing to do with this set right now. You know what I mean? this...
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Good for him.
They write this trash, and it's not even original, right? Like every politician has the same line. They all go, it doesn't matter your race or religion, your color or creed. Who has a creed? Like, who has had a creed since, like, 1520? Nobody. And yet every politician's like, I gotta hit every demographic. Gay people, Latinos, Knights Templar, Franciscan monks, everybody. Like, there are more members of the band Creed than Americans who live by a creed. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. That's my set. Thank you.
Thank you, Ismael. Reese, let's see what you're doing. Relationships. Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
I'm in a relationship. We first bonded over our shared creed. In a long-term relationship. People don't believe it. Been together with my girlfriend for 9 years. Long time, innit, for a relationship, 9 years. Yeah, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it exciting. Keep that spark alive. Keep the spice going. You know, we're trying to do new things, excite each other. Like, she keeps talking about how she wants to try having sex outside of the relationship. Oh, can I watch? Will he be tall? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm reading all these articles about steps you can take to keep that spark going. You know, I saw this article recently, right? It said couples who schedule sex have better sex. No. Couples who schedule sex are available to take a survey. That is all you found out, I'm afraid. That's all your research has revealed. But she's good. She's good, my girlfriend. I like her a lot. I suppose ultimately I love her. But she does have her quirks and her tics that annoy me, like she pronounces it espresso instead of expression. She's weird. We took the next step in our relationship recently. I'm joking. I'm still not letting her do that. Still, keep it in the back pocket in case I can't think of a Christmas present one year. Some people prefer the experience gifts, don't they? Anyway.
Called If You Catch My Drift. Oh, okay. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is a shoe store. Oh, no.
Oh, my foot isn't the only thing that arches, if you catch my drift.
Laces are nice, but I prefer a strap.
I can't wait to stretch these out, if you catch my drift.
I'm looking for something I can shove my whole foot into.
Sorry, but if anyone actually said that at a shoe store, I'd think they were fully insane.
I've been kicked out of a lot of Foot Lockers.
I just need a couple of pumps, if you catch my drift.
I love cruising around in vans, if you catch my drift.
Mustache. She gave me a red bottom, if you catch my drift.
I'll tell you, I'd like to slide into something smelly.
What?
If you catch my drift.
So you want used shoes?
No.
Oh, when I was little, they actually had to tape my toes apart because I like to spread. I mean, if you catch my drift.
No, never mind. I'm not looking for anything brown. If you catch my drift.
Wow.
He's lying.
He's definitely lying. He's lying.
Oh, he's lying.
If I'm gonna get in there, you're gonna have to give me the horn if you catch my drift.
All right. I'm giving the round to Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we come to a game called Set Me Up. This is not the dating portion of the show, which they told me backstage. The way this works is that I reveal a punchline from an old joke, and the comedians have to come up with as many possible new setup lines for it as they can. So here we go. Your punchline is because they're dead. Let's hear what the setup might be for this.
Oh, this is why the neighborhood kids won't pet my cats anymore.
How come the audience from the last show isn't here?
How come there's fewer and fewer anti-vaxxers?
Why do a lot of my ex-boyfriends have no idea that I'm a comedian?
How did I really ruin the Sixth Sense?
Matthew?
Why is Schrodinger's cat still alive?
That's a smart joke. That's smart. That's gonna make people Google this.
Why doesn't Joe Biden ever see his friends anymore?
Why are zombies always so pissed off?
How come you've never met anybody who's ridden in a self-driving car?
Why can I not enjoy the audience laughter from a 70s sitcom?
Also, 90s porn.
There's laughter in 90s porn?
No, just enjoying 90s.
There are gags.
How do I know my grandparents are too old for surprise parties?
All right, the real answer, of course, is why don't dinosaurs talk? Because they're dead. Hilarious. All right, I'm gonna give that round to Reese. So Luke, Reese, they should now win that round. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Okay, so that sex with me is like sports. Let's go.
Sex with me is like sports. We're both definitely gonna catch something.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm a sub.
Sex with me is like sports. I mostly practice by myself.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always watching and losing tons of money.
Sex with me is like sports. Your husband's gonna yell at me a lot.
Sex with me is like sports. It comes down to just a couple of inches.
Sex with me is like sports. It's only exciting for the last few seconds.
Sex with me is like sports. You'll feel pressured to compete, but don't worry, everybody gets a trophy.
Sex with me is like sports. If you hear a whistle, something went wrong.
Sex with me is like sports. I'm always saying the phrase, Coach, put me in.
Sex with me is like sports. It's best when multiple men are involved.
Sex with me is like sports. I like to change ends at halftime.
Sex with me is like sports. You're liable to get some balls thrown in your face.
The winners of that round were Matthew, Mark, and Ismael. Come on, Matt. Hey, don't move. I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke-Off this week are Luke Monet, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. And hard luck to Ismael Lucy, Mark Norman, and Matthew Bassard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You are watching the Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Glenn Moore, Matthew Bassard, Natasha Leggero, Hugh Dennis, Tom Allen, Alonzo Bowden, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready? Yeah! Let's get started with a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is health. Tell me some health jokes.
Do you remember at school, like, if you broke your arm, you get everyone to sort of sign your arm and stuff like that? Has anyone ever tried to actually do that as an adult? It is a disaster. On it, they just kick you out the schoolyard.
I have trouble watching pharmaceutical commercials because I look like the boyfriend in every herpes commercial. It's okay. It's okay. My girlfriend looks like the girlfriend in a herpes commercial.
I have to stay healthy. I have the worst health insurance in the world. My doctor told me if anything ever happens to you, get in the car, because my car insurance is so much better than my health insurance. My only hope might be a head-on collision.
I don't have any health problems. I went to the doctor and he said, you are like an athlete. I found drugs in your urine sample.
I'm an organ donor, but don't tell anyone. I like to keep it on the DL.
I found it was really hard being healthy over lockdown, and especially because I had to have a doctor's appointment over lockdown. We had to have a doctor's appointment over Skype, and my doctor actually diagnosed me with which was really difficult for me to hear.
I'm not sure how it works in America, but in England we have the NHS. I think in America it's called GoFundMe. Is that what it's called?
I live in Los Angeles, where 100% of the women who live there eat their placenta after they have babies for health reasons. Some woman invited me over for lasagna. Okay, if you're gonna serve people something that comes out of your vagina, don't make it a dish with layers of cheese. At the most, I would vape my placenta. Maybe air fry it.
What is it with American adverts for pharmaceuticals? You have the disclaimer at the end, don't you, where you say, warning, this drug may cause... It'd be like for, like, supple joints or something. And they'll be like, warning, this drug may cause violence, murderous inclinations, kidney failure, sporadic diarrhea. And you sort of go, well, you know, well, I might be able to do some high kicks, but now I'm a sort of high-kicking myself murderer.
You want to know a crazy one? So I've been concerned about hair loss recently because I'm 34.
Please. Oh, please.
Please stop.
Excuse me. Come on. There's two of us here, mate. All right.
This one's gonna be a tough sell.
All right. I acknowledge my privilege.
It must be terrible for you. Yeah, what are you taking?
So I was looking into Propecia, but it causes decreased libido and even impotence. So this is a pill that regrows your hair and also kills your sex drive. That is a crazy trade-off. Gives you the hair of a teenager and the penis of an old man. That's not medicine. That's a short story by Edgar Allan Poe.
I am actually done with the doctor. From now on, anything happens to me, I'm going to the vet. He gives you options. Everyone wants to make their own decision. The vet's like, look, the surgery's expensive, it's complicated, it might not work. If you want, I could just kill you. That's always on the table.
Maybe I should go to a vet then, because I also suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, and I'm not sure I've been given the correct diagnosis by my doctor. He says there is a cure, and every year he's going to send my bowel on an anger management course.
He's got a pissed off colon.
My doctor is such a flirt. I went to him with a sprained wrist, and he said I had acute injury. It's a proper joke. You can't go wrong. You can't. You see.
He looks so smart. Now, let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is deleted dialogue and your where is a superhero movie. So let's hear some deleted dialogue from a superhero movie. Take it away.
I'm the first gay James Bond. I'm not called 007, I'm called Ooh, 7. I've got a license to criticize your furniture.
Is that shaken or stirred?
I can do all the dances.
Yeah, Batman couldn't be here. He's stuck in quarantine with Pangolin Man.
Watching this is a virgin.
Karen, please stop wasting police time. Black Panther is here to save you.
Don't groan, he's right.
Yeah. Superman, you're American, aren't you? I am your British equivalent. Reasonably good chap.
What does that shield look like?
Yeah. My spider sense is tingling, so you might want to get tested.
That horrible scream? No, no one's suffering. Wolverine just finished and he's wiping.
My origin story? Broken condom.
That's all of us.
Do we have to go to the multiverse today? I have so much laundry.
Spider-Man is dead, and so is Flyman. Swallowed by There Was an Old Lady Woman.
Oh, no. You found my one weakness. My incredibly tender balls.
That's every man.
Oh, no, it's Spider-Man. Quick, grab a cup and a piece of paper and we can throw him out the window. Don't understand it all. Don't understand it at all. Oh, no, it's Catwoman. Get a laser pen and distract her. Children's films, isn't it? Really. But I would be an excellent baddie in one if anybody wants to cast me. But
Tom, I feel like if you're a supervillain, you'd open up your double-breasted jacket and underneath it is just another double-breasted jacket.
It is important that the Avengers do not make mistakes. I need to know who was responsible. Was it you, cluster?
All right, thank you so much. Q wins that round because I just like saying the name Q. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are going to do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's going to be. Matthew and Glenn, yay! So you 2 both go to the stand-up area. Glenn, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is gonna be. Family, La Familia.
Go! I never really saw much of my grandparents when I was growing up. I was either at school, or I was at college, or I was on my year abroad when I went briefcasing around Europe. That's not to say I wasn't inspired by them. I always wanted to grow up to be like my grandfather, you know, maybe grow up to be like him, become a fireman and... firefighter, 21st century. As like a firefighter, or be like my uncle, grow up and become a garbage man and... Sorry, garbage fighter. Anything like that was I remember a few years ago, I was at my grandmother's leaving drinks, which sounds a lot nicer than wake, doesn't it? And I felt bad. I felt bad that I never really got to know her. I never really got to know her husband, my grandfather, because he died decades before I was born after a difficult 6-year battle with Germany. And I remember the last thing my grandmother said to me. She said, Glenn, it doesn't matter what you achieve in your life. As long as by the end of your life you're happy and you can afford your own bed, that's all you need. And that's the last thing she told me on her death chair. I hated staying at my grandmother's so much, mainly because she lived in a remote area with barely any radio signal, barely any TV signal, and some internet, which, as we all know, is significantly worse than no internet. Because at my grandmother's house, I can get no internet reception in the bedroom. I can get perfect internet reception in the linen closet just across the hallway. So if ever I wanted to load up some sort of mature content, I've got to load it up on the laptop, then I've got to take it to stream in the linen closet for 10 minutes, like some sort of porn microwave. Take it back to my room again, you can guarantee halfway through a video it suddenly starts buffering again, so I've got to take it back to sexy Narnia. Trying to hop across the hallway with my pants around my ankles, I can guarantee that's when my grandma catches me in the act as well, so I look like the Pixar lamp. It's a nightmare. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn. Matthew, let's see what you're doing. Exercise, take it away.
I'm excited. I recently joined a support group for people who peaked in high school. Thank you. It's called CrossFit. I started doing CrossFit. If you don't know how it works, the workouts are all designed by an undercover chiropractor trying to drum up business. It's like, here's 300 pounds, pick it up, set it down, then scream like a wounded Spartan. I'm like, okay, what about form? Just lift with your back. I'm like, that sounds kind of painful. Like, no, don't worry about it. Pain is just cartilage leaving the kneecap, so you got this, you know? My girlfriend was an athlete. She was very good. She was a pro swimmer. I was not good at sports. I know I look like I played lacrosse for Slytherin, but I am not an athletic guy. She was a world-class swimmer. She's retired now and adjusting to life on land, but you can still tell that she was an athlete because she's tall and muscular, but still very feminine, like skinny waist, broad, childbearing shoulders. I feel very safe in her arms. We are similar in size. There's nothing wrong with that, but there are some things I miss. Like a thing a lot of straight guys like to do is you give your girlfriend your shirt to sleep in, and it fits her very baggy and billowy, and that makes you feel very manly and protective. And when my girlfriend puts on one of my shirts, it's just like, that's how that should fit. Yeah, that's great. Sleeve length and everything. Yeah, you keep that. That's yours now. And she swam her whole life, so all of the guys she dated before me were very good swimmers. Like her last boyfriend was a sprinter, so 50 freestyle, 100 freestyle, a little bit of butterfly and some backstroke, and he went to collegiate nationals. He had Olympic trials cuts. I only Googled him for a few hours, but my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend is a 6'7" elite swimmer, and you would think that would be intimidating, but the really cool part about that is that we can just sleep in his old shirts. Very spacious, comes down to mid-thigh, fits like a moon. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Matthew was my favorite. Come back and sit down. Let's keep going with a round called Mincing Your Words. The way this works is that our comedians have to combine 2 unlikely things and make us laugh. So, let's see what combination you'll be working with tonight. Okay, celebrities and desserts. Off you go.
Dulce de leche.
Oh! That's my name!
Robert Brownie Jr.
Probably my favourite rapper is Kendrick Lamar.
Chirama Susan Sarandon.
Okay, Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Gingerbread Sheeran.
Yes. Ariana Grande Mocha Frappuccino.
Eclair Foy. That's you're groaning at that.
My favorite comedian, Funfetti Murphy.
I don't know if this one's too convoluted. OK, bear with me. John Candy.
You know who I love? The narrator, Smorgan Freeman.
Chris Brownie Extra Nuts.
I'm getting a bit desperate now. Quentin Custodino.
Well done, all of you. I thought that Matthew, Hugh, and Alonzo are the funniest. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called You Think That's Bad? This is where performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever. And I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
I used to date a substitute teacher, and it was the worst. Honestly, the sex was really hard work. And then on the last day of term, she'd just wheel out a big television and we just watch porn.
You think that's bad? Everyone's into older women. At my age, I don't get a cougar, I get a saber tooth.
You think that's bad? My brother lives in a van that he put an address on. He doesn't have a TV, so he won't be watching this.
You think this is bad? My parents told me when I was a baby I didn't suck my thumb, and I was like, oh, I must have been a really advanced baby. And they went, no, you just sucked all your other fingers. So I must have just been a baby sat there going...
You think that's bad? I got a notice for jury duty that said, would you like to be a juror or defendant?
I'm very no sex before marriage, it turns out.
You think that's bad? When I was a teenager, I thought I was doing a good job of hiding the fact that I was gay. And then at Christmas, our next-door neighbours bought me a purse. It was very, very helpful.
Was it a nice purse?
Well, it was perfect for putting my shoes in for gym.
You think that's bad? During the pandemic, I missed traveling so much I would go to the airport just for security to touch me.
Poor Alonzo.
You think that's bad? People assume I've never worked for anything in my life. Like, if you saw me in gay porn, your first thought would be, I bet his dad got him that job. That looks like a legacy hire.
You think that's bad? My dad said you can use it for bail or tuition.
Well done, all of you. I want to make the winner that round, Alonzo, because I like him the best. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to your pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those people might use. Ready? Let's try this famous name. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
What I want to do with you is Azkaban banned in several countries.
I'd like to slither into your chamber of secrets.
The best part about dating an orphan, you never have to meet my parents.
Would you like to see my trousers, Snape?
Oh, hi. I don't really know much about pickup lines. I've never seen Harry Potter. Hey, you, baby. You know, that platform's not the only thing that's 9 3/4.
Hey, baby, this is the 5th movie. I'm finally 18.
Is your name Neville? Because I long for your bottom.
Hey, baby, are you the snitch? Because I'm trying to score with you.
Hey, baby. I'm gonna have you coming back for Voldemort and more.
That wand isn't the only stick that's magic.
I'm a Gryffindor in the streets, but a Slytherin in the sheets.
I know what you're thinking. Gringotts. But the truth is, I always walk like this.
Well, I must be on the Quidditch team, because I've got wood between my legs.
I feel like he has such an unfair advantage. He looks exactly like Harry Potter. There goes his pickup lines.
Hey, once you go muggle, everything else is a struggle.
Hey, baby, are you a parcel tongue? Because my snake wants to speak to you.
Wow, I've had a lot of English actors in me.
Stay tuned. Welcome back. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off are Glenn Moore, Natasha Leggero, and Tom Allen. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Alonzo Bowden, Hugh Dennis, and Matthew Broussard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Joe List, Luke Moniz, Rebecca O'Neill, Reese James, Glenn Moore, Josh Johnson, and I'm Dulce Cone. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start kissing up now. So we've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with one we call If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say there that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is an auto repair shop. Go.
I want you to give it a kick and say, that needs inflating, if you catch my drift.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm useless, and we need to get a real man in here that knows what he's doing, if you catch my drift.
She was born with flat tires, if you catch my drift.
You must drive a Prius, because I didn't hear you coming, if you catch my drift.
You know, usually I only choose Japanese models, if you catch my drift.
I'm having a little fluid leak, if you catch my drift.
I can tell that you've been rear-ended a bunch, if you catch my drift.
Could you inspect my headlights if you catch my drift?
Everyone says there's a problem with my shaft, if you catch my drift.
You know, in Europe, we'd be doing this the other way around, if you catch my drift.
Well, that's oil, but it's not from a motor, if you catch my drift.
I've been driving this thing fast and furious, if you catch my Tokyo drift.
Gonna need to lube it up a lot if you catch my drift. Like lube it up if you catch my drift.
I'm breaking up with you.
I want to have sex in this car, if you catch my drift.
wanted to see you because I've just had a breakdown in the middle of the road, if you catch my drift.
Was it worth it?
No.
We should have stopped one earlier, if you catch my drift.
Well, as someone who used to date a mechanic, this was all very traumatizing. What a flashback. What an awful man. Hey, man, sometimes you gotta sleep with somebody to get an oil change. What you gotta do? Oh, like you wouldn't do it. Shut up. All right, so I think, ooh, both teams won. I can't do it. I can't do it. Now let's play a game called You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
Oh, right, do you know what annoys me? Is when there's a huge line in front of you at the auto repair shop of people just saying how they want to have sex with a mechanic.
You are stupid.
You know what annoys me? Why do they celebrate Christmas in the Harry Potter movies? Wouldn't Jesus just be a normal guy there? Oh, 40 minutes. 40 minutes in every movie. It's Christmas. Can you imagine if Jesus showed up at Hogwarts? They'd be like, oh, what do you do, man? I turn water into wine. Cool, so does everyone who works in the back. Put on an apron.
You know what annoys me is when you go to the dentist shows you the x-ray as though you've ever read an x-ray at any point in your life. He's like, take a look. I'm like, that looks like a tooth. I don't know, you just tell me what it is. I don't want to look. Yeah.
You know what annoys me is my grandma. She's always banging on about how it was so much better in her day. It's all she ever says. Oh, things were better in my day. It's all she ever says. It's just like, it's not true, but do you not find it rude to brag to me about a time I'll never get to experience because I wasn't alive? But I don't go and visit her, look at her 92-year-old face and go, the future is going to be amazing. Because it probably isn't.
You know what annoys me is like when you use a public toilet and the stall door doesn't fit perfectly. The other day I was in there and a 5-year-old kid just walked and looked right at me with space on either side, and then he yelled, Dad. And I'm like, does he think I'm his dad or does he want his dad to see me in here?
You know what annoys me is when people just accuse you of stuff. My girlfriend asked me a couple of weeks ago, she went, are you over the drink-drive limit? And I was like, OK, you know what? If we're counting one shot of whiskey as over the drink-drive limit, then fine, OK? I'm 11 times over the drink-drive limit. Don't do this to me.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Drunk driving.
Actually, in America, if they're watching you say drink driving, they think you're drunk now.
Yeah,
Right.
no. Yeah. Like, drink driving to me just means, like, I have a beverage in a car.
Yeah.
It's like, no one drinks a bunch of water and is like, like, that is a drink.
You know what annoys me is if you're gonna tax me, if any country is gonna tax me, just tell me how much I owe. Because I owe whatever you say I owe. I can't send you a letter like, no, I owe whatever you say I owe. But then you have to do your taxes yourself. You gave me homework to send you money. And then if I get it wrong, I go to jail. Like, imagine going to a restaurant and then eating. And then your server comes up and is like, how much do you think it costs? And by the way, if you get it wrong, there's an officer waiting outside. Best of luck.
Do you know what annoys me? I can't watch Netflix anymore because my ex-girlfriend's brother hasn't paid a subscription. And it's like, just sort your life out, man.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Everyone made me laugh, but I want to give the round to Josh Johnson because he is my favorite human. Don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Get Up There. 2 people are going to do some stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which 2 people that's gonna be. Ooh, okay, Luke and Joe. Okay, Luke, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Okay, conspiracy theories. All right, off you go.
All right, I'm too tall to do comedy. Every time I talk into a microphone and it's in the stand, it just looks like I'm making an announcement. A lot of conspiracies going around right now. My neighbor is a flat earther. Any flat earthers here? Okay, good. I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, Luke, I think the earth is flat. Sorry if that's not politically correct. And I was like, no, that's just regular incorrect, right? You can't just say a crazy conspiracy like, I don't think Ohio's real. Sorry if that offends you. Yeah, the sun's a big light bulb created by the CIA. Are you triggered, lib? You know? It's been a rough couple of years for all of us. I think you can tell how tough of a time it's been for our world by how popular alcoholic seltzer has become. It wasn't like this before. I think we just reached a low point as a society where everyone got together and was like, I don't care anymore. Put vodka in the water. I want to drink bubbly Listerine. For God's sake, put heroin in my Cobb salad. Leave me alone. I think I'm getting dumber every day. Does anyone else feel that way about me right now? I keep getting these scam calls every day, you know, but I pick up every time because they kind of look like my number, you know? I always answer like, well, maybe I'm calling me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luke. Joe, let's see what you're doing. Okay, Joe, your subject is exercise. Take it away.
Great, thank you. Well, obviously, I do a lot of exercise. My favorite way to exercise, I've been doing mixed martial arts, MMA. I don't know if anyone's doing that, but I could beat the hell out of everybody in here if I wanted to. I like MMA because, first of all, I went there because I wanted to learn, like, self-defense. I actually learned I'm attracted to men, and that's a cool thing to learn also. My friend was like, you should do mixed martial arts. Find out what you're capable of. I am capable of maintaining an erection while a guy strangles me from behind. That's a good thing to know about yourself, you know? How else would I have known that? I thought it was gonna be hand-to-hand combat. It's genital to butt choking. I want to be tough, though. That's why I like doing MMA, because I want to be a tough guy, but I'm not tough. And I know I don't look tough, because my first day at MMA, we went over striking. That's like punching and kicking. And my instructor said, when you throw a punch, you want to turn your wrist like you're pouring tea. And I was like, I feel like you don't say that to everybody. Somehow, I'm pretty sure he just looked at me and was like, you've probably poured tea? Is that something you've done? And I was like, are you kidding? That's my favorite beverage. My first punch was terrible. I had my pinky out and my elbow flared. You can quit anytime you want. You tap the other person and they have to stop. They win, but you don't die. Sort of a win-win. I think we should have that socially, you know? You're at like a party or a bar, someone's telling you a crappy story, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm done with this, actually. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I think Joe was my favorite, so his team wins the points this round. All right, both of y'all come and sit back down. Now we play a game called Joke Board. This is where we create up-to-date versions of joke styles such as waiter, waiter, life hacks, or something walks into a bar. Okay, let's see what y'all's style is gonna be. Oh, fun facts. All right, y'all, let's hear them.
Fun fact, blood sausage is actually vampire poop. Yeah.
Fun fact, knees are just elbows for your legs.
Fun fact, if you stand at the front of a restaurant wearing a motorcycle helmet, you get so much free food.
That's just theft.
You know what annoys me? When you say a joke from the wrong round by mistake.
Fun fact, in Australia, the toilet water is not drinkable.
Fun fact, trying to pop a pimple can actually lead to a broken nose if you don't ask the person first.
Fun fact, it's not considered shoplifting if you do it completely naked.
Fun fact, the highest point on Earth is the top of Mount Everest, and the lowest point is doing TikTok dances with your dad.
Fun fact, Bill Murray is still filming Groundhog Day.
Fun fact, the ancient Egyptians did not have a word for Doritos Locos Tacos.
Fun fact, if you stand in front of your mirror at night and say Ted Bundy 5 times, your dad comes in and goes, what are you doing?
Fun fact, when a group of men live together, their boners sync up. That one's mainly about prison, but,
Fun fact, if both of your parents are right-handed and you're left-handed, they don't love you.
Fun fact, if you pursue comedy as a career, your parents also don't love you.
My mama love me.
Damn it.
Fun fact, my grandma is an Elvis impersonator in the sense that she's not alive anymore.
Do you have any living grandparents?
Yeah. Grandpa's dead,
Not
too.
if I've got anything to do with it, no.
Fun fact, Glenn might be a murderer.
Fun fact, a slap is just using someone else's face to clap.
fun fact, it is impossible for a kangaroo to storm off.
Fun fact, before Sigourney Weaver, everyone just had to weave their own Sigourneys.
Don't go away. There's more after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we come to a game called Ask Us Anything. This is where we throw ourselves open to the audience and invite them to ask us a question on any topic. Okay, do we have a Tanner here?
Hi, yes.
Hello, can we have your question, please?
Yes, do you have any dating tips?
I haven't used this personally, but what my cousin does is they shave 3 days before a date so that when the date arrives, they've got, like, the perfect amount of sexy stubble. And, like, I personally think that's weird, but you know what? They're her legs. She can do whatever she wants.
My advice is to double-check your texts when you're texting with your partner. One time I was hanging out with my wife's sister, and I wrote to my wife, "We're having a great time. She's a lot of fun. I wish you were her."
Also, don't let it be a surprise date. You know, ask where the date's gonna be. Is it the movies, you know? Is it the woods? It's important to know where the date's gonna be.
My dating advice is don't go on a date to the woods. Don't do that.
You are the demographic that they write documentaries about. Okay, thank you so much. All right, is there a Craig here? Craig?
Up here? I would like to know, what is the worst heckle you've ever had?
I once did a show, and it was a packed crowd, and I was doing really well, and then a man stood up in the middle of the show and said, "This guy's a nerd."
I did a show once where the guy was heckling me, and he said the first guy was funnier, but I was the first person. So I don't know who he met before the show.
I once had 2 people say, "You suck, and we're upset we raised you this poorly."
Well, thank you so much, Craig, for helping us relive traumatic experiences. You all were great, but I kind of feel sorry for Joe List, so I'll give his team the win. And now we come to a round we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. So, make your way over to the pickup area, please. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some major celebrities, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those celebrities might use. Let's see who the celebrity is. Ooh, Tom Hanks. All right, let me see what you got.
What's long, hard, and ready to ride? The Polar Express. Hop on.
I really love Toy Story. In fact, I have a Woody of my own.
I have a bunch of toys back at my place, and they all buzz.
Just call me Sully, because I'd love to perform a miracle on your wet surface.
Excuse me, but you're in a league of your own. Mamma Mia, he produced it. He produced it.
I saved Ryan's privates. How about yours?
I'd like to perform consistently well in your box office.
So, I don't know if you've seen Toy Story, but... Oh, Andy's back!
Let's try this famous name. Captain Kirk.
Set phasers to stunning!
I call my penis the universe because when I'm with you, it's constantly expanding.
I can show you where the G-Spock is.
You want to get beamed up to my studio apartment?
Hey, baby, you must have trained at Starfleet Academy, because right now I'm harder than the Kobayashi Maru test.
That is a deep cut reference.
I'll literally sleep with anything.
It's not small. I'm just using the cloaking device.
Hey, girl, are you a black hole at the center of the universe? Because I hear you swallow everything.
My name is James T. Kirk, and the T is for tantric.
If you know what I mean.
I'm very good at sex.
All right, at the end of that round, it's a tie, because it was too good. It was too good. Y'all come on back. Hey, don't move. I'll be back to tell you who won tonight's show right after these messages. Stay tuned. That's the end of the show. And in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke-Off this week are Josh Johnson, Reese James, and Luke Bonet. Congratulations to you. And hard luck to Joe List, Rebecca O'Neill, and Glenn Moore. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Hello, friends. You are watching the Great American Joke-Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Joe List, Mark Norman, Chanel Ali, Reese James, Glenn Moore, Ismael Lutfi, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke-Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest, so start sucking up now. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is family. Give me some family jokes.
I find it unfair that parents are allowed to introduce themselves by saying stuff like, oh, mother to an amazing son, father to 2 amazing daughters, but people find it weird when I call myself a nephew to 3 gorgeous uncles.
My uncle's an alcoholic. Yeah, he's obsessed with breweries. He's like, we gotta go to a brewery. I'm like, why? He's like, well, you get to see how it's made. I'm like, I don't know. I like strip clubs. I don't need to go to a broken home.
When I was growing up, my mum always used to tell me, if you masturbate too much, you go blind. It's quite a weird thing to say to a kid. But then, like, 1 week ago, she asked me to drive her to get laser eye surgery.
I
have a 5-year-old nephew, and the other day we were talking, and he asked me why my teeth are all yellow. I know. I told him it's because Santa Claus isn't real.
I don't have a good relationship with my dad, and I remember one time he called me, and that's the end of that joke.
My grandma died recently, actually, and we scattered my nan's ashes at sea so she could be remembered for doing what she loved, choking dolphins.
Y'all are going to jail.
I was actually choking my dolphin backstage.
Careful, you don't want to go blind.
A couple of years ago, I was in the garden scattering my grandfather's remains, which was horrible because he hadn't been cremated.
In America, we love La Familia and hate people who call it La Familia.
I read an article that said sometimes if a baby is crying, it could be as little a thing as they just have an itch, but they don't know how to itch it. So anytime my sister's baby cries, I just scratch it all over her.
I have a stepdad, or fake dad, or faux pas, and.
Shut up. Shut up. I think Americans know what a faux pas is. Come here. Did he mean a mistake? Yes, that's what he meant.
My dad was a functioning alcoholic, and he got called into work, and they said, "You're a high-functioning alcoholic." And he said, "How'd they know I was also high?"
I recently went to a family reunion for a friend of mine in Alabama, or as they call it, speed dating.
I had a big argument with my mum a few years ago where I came into the kitchen, she was writing something down, and I said, "What are you writing?" And she said, "I'm writing a bucket list." And I said, "What's a bucket list?" And she said, "Oh, a bucket list is like a to-do list, but it's different in the sense of it's a to-do list of things that you need to do before you die." And I said, "There is no other kind of to-do list." And she got really angry, and she said, "Don't be cheeky." And I said, "You look like an old bitch," and we quarrelled, and it was, yeah.
Calling your mama a bitch and you live to tell the story? Wow. That's white privilege. All right, y'all. At the end of that round, it's gonna go to Mark, Reese, and Ismael. Mainly because Glenn is disrespectful to his mama. Now, let's play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image, and our comedians suggest captions. So, let's take a look at this image. What's going on here?
Oh, man, as a kid, I hated the Soviet version of Big Bird.
Is that guy going, just once I'd like to introduce you both to a new girlfriend without Mum overreacting.
This is the angriest sex robot I ever bought.
Oh, on the left, it's the guy who's always in front of me at the airport metal detector.
That feeling when you overdress for a baby shower.
Boy, the original RoboCop sucked.
It really did. I would let you go if I only had a heart.
All right, thank you all. Let's see an image from an old comic book. What are they saying?
Oh, is this Benjamin Button watching his parents shag?
If you think he's creepy now, wait till you see his rat tail.
I think the man is saying, "I want you to sit on my face tonight." And the girl is saying, "I can't wait to sit on your face tonight." And the old guy is saying, "In my day, we used our face for racism."
The last couple caught me watching them. They poked my eye out.
Is the woman saying, "I've always dreamed of us having a threesome with an elderly bank teller from a Western"?
Is the guy going, "You can see that too, right? That weird couple kissing behind me?"
This is a hashtag me82.
Well, thanks for watching. Join us next week when I chop these two youngsters up.
If they want to stop young people from watching porn, they should just get this guy coming up as a pop-up. Like, every time you watch a video, just eat...
That would help me.
Yeah. Like the paperclip on Word, but it's just an old man going, "I see you're having some trouble wanking."
Okay, that's enough. giving the round to Mark, Reese, and Ismael. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called If You Catch My Drift. I'll give an everyday location, and our performers have to suggest perfectly innocent things you might say that suddenly sound naughty if you add the words, if you catch my drift. So, comedians, your scenario is... a restaurant! Okay, give me naughty, go.
Stop playing with it and put it in your mouth, if you catch my drift.
I honestly don't have room for anything else, if you catch my drift.
Indian just wrecks my insides. If you catch my drift.
My nuts are very salty, if you catch my drift.
I think you're gonna like the tip, if you catch my drift.
The lie of all lies!
If you're willing to wait, I'm sure a seat will open right up if you catch my drift.
Hold the pork, if you catch my drift.
Sorry, I'm always the last one to finish, if you catch my drift.
Don't mind at all.
I'm afraid I've got chowder all over my jeans, if you catch my drift.
My tip is about 40%, if you catch my drift.
I heard your cake is very moist, if you catch my drift.
Okay, let's stop there, let's stop there. Hard to choose a winner, but I feel like I should do Mark Norman a favor, so let's give his team the point. Now let's play a game called You Know What Annoys Me? This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's going to start us off?
Do you know what annoys me? Is when people say, oh, don't use a condom because it feels so much better without. This heroin is hurting my stomach. So much.
You know what annoys me is hypocrisy, you know. How come when a woman says she slept with loads of people, she gets called a slut? But when I say that, I get called a liar.
You know what annoys me is people are always so afraid to date a comedian. Like, they think I'm gonna make fun of them if we have whack sex. Like, whack sex is funny to me.
Yeah, date us. We're nice ladies. Don't be trash and we won't talk about you for money. Mark?
Sorry.
I see how that looks. That's not what that was.
One time.
It was one night. It was years ago.
Yes. Cake was very moist.
Yes. I mean, thank you. Thank you. But the tip was 40%.
Soft tip. You know what annoys me? When you see a gay guy, because I'm like, must be nice to just know you're gay and not have to wonder about it every day.
Did you just come out on the show?
You know what annoys me? Why'd they call it Death on the Nile and not Murder, She Boat?
No.
You know what annoys me? Homophobes. I knew this kid in high school, extremely homophobic, always talking about gay people, hate him so much. And now, 12 years later, anyone want to guess what this kid is?
A drag queen.
A Florida congressman. Very good, you're right.
You know what annoys me? When a guy next to me on the plane wants to talk because we're sitting too close together. We're literally talking from this distance. I'm like, I could kiss you without using a neck muscle right now.
You know what annoys me is when people say, you know who you remind me of? Because that basically means, I'm going to insult you now. No one ever's like, you know who you remind me of, Reese? Leonardo DiCaprio. It was like, you know who you remind me of? The ghost of a Victorian girl who appeared at my bed because I didn't forward an email in 2001 to 15 friends.
You know what annoys me is when hot people give unattractive people advice. Hot people are always like, you need more confidence. And I'm like, no, I need your face.
You know what annoys me is when my dishwasher hasn't finished its cycle and I have to use the fork that I hate the most.
Okay, it's a sport.
There's nothing worse than using a fork you don't like on a prestige meal.
I've never heard a Hot Pocket described like that.
If you catch my drift.
But this is the Great American Joke-Off, so I want an American to win that round. Points to Joe List. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the Great American Joke-Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke-Off, where it's all about the jokes. It's time now for a game called Hard to Sell. This game is a chance for our performers to think of names for products or items that would make them incredibly hard to sell. So let's see what you have that would be hard to sell. Fragrances! Okay, tell me some names of fragrances that would make them hard to sell.
Elon's Musk.
Formaldehyde Fresh by Morgue.
Will Smith's aftershave. He slaps it on for you.
Christian Dior?
Christian Diaper?
Is Christian Dior somebody?
Christian Dior is a thing.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Diaper.
Like
diaper?
Like diaper.
Yeah, like diaper, but French.
Versace's Discharge.
Unforgettable, the new fragrance by Joe Biden.
Do your parents know you smell like this?
Unforgettable, the new fragrance by Joe Biden.
My Underwear by Chipotle. All right, I'm on the board.
Christian Dior's clothes you were wearing while cooking salmon.
I really think Christian Dior was pretty good.
Joe List, because he tried. So I'm gonna give it to this team. Now we come to a round we call Ask Us Anything. This is where we throw ourselves open to the audience and invite them to ask us a question on any topic. First up, is there a Lucius here? Hello, friend. Yes.
Oh,
Do you
good.
have a question for us?
So my question is, what is the worst gig you've ever done?
About 2 years ago, I did a really sick gig in Wuhan.
I'm breaking up with you.
Say the worst I ever did was about 3 years ago, and I hit my head as I was walking onto the stage. And so I went on stage really, really concussed. But I couldn't stand properly, and there was blood pouring from the top of my forehead down my eyes, and I was swaying from side to side. And it's the closest I've ever felt to being in the beginning of a James Bond film, you know, when he shoots the camera?
I did a gig in Savannah, Georgia, and it's hard to tell racist jokes to actual racists. They don't laugh, they just nod. They're like, that's a solid point.
I know what you mean. I had a gig right on the stairs of the Capitol. Tough.
All right, thank you so much, Lucius. Okay, is there a Daniel here? Ooh, wonderful. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Daniel, what is your question?
What's the stupidest thing you've ever heard someone say?
Oh.
I had a poor man ask me to marry him.
The other day, I saw someone call an ATM a tight bastard.
I had a friend say he came up with an idea for an invention, a refrigerator with a see-through door. And I said, every supermarket ever has had that.
I was once in Scotland, and I was just putting the key into my front door where I was staying, and this guy came up behind me, and he went, "Guess what?" like that. And then I turned around, and then he went, "Are you selling any weed?" And I was like, it's not an unreasonable question, but how the hell does "guess what" apply here?
It got you to didn't turn around.
It worked, yeah. And then I sold him some weed.
I told a guy I was having trouble sleeping, and then he responded, "Oh, you gotta sleep." I said, "No, I know, I'm not quitting sleeping."
Okay, thank you, Daniel, so much. I think it's a tie. I can't call a winner on that one. What do y'all think? Now let's keep going with the round called Celebrity Pickup Lines. So make your way over to the pickup area. The way this works is I'm gonna give you the name of some major celebrities, and I want you to suggest some pickup lines those celebrities might use. Ready? Let's see who the celebrity is. Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, let me see what you got.
My favorite sexual position is called the horse costume. You be front, I'll be back.
Live with me if you want to.
Hey, I've got handcuffs. We can play good cop, kindergarten cop.
Let's sit under the Christmas tree, I promise, to make you jingle all the way.
Are you the state of California? Because I'd like to dominate you for 10 years.
It won't hurt. I only have a Terminator 2-inch penis.
Don't worry. I've got a brand of Plan B pills called Total Recall.
All right, let's stop there. Okay, let's try this famous name. Steven Spielberg.
A lot of guys around here are too subtle, but I'm a little director.
They call my bedroom the terminal because I trapped Tom Hanks in it.
We're gonna need a bigger penis.
Did you see Jaws? Well, I directed it. That movie's so good. It's unbelievable.
Charming, sexy, beautiful. That's Schindler's List if he wrote it about you.
I mean, Jaws, all three main characters turn in the best performances of their career. I directed it.
I'm a BFG, a big friendly gay.
Oh. Do you want me to go quicker?
E.T. Bone Home.
If you don't go out with me, my balls will turn the color purple.
So E.T.? No, I said E.D. I've got erectile dysfunction.
I managed to make Richard Dreyfuss likable.
All right, that's it. Well done to Mark Reese and Ismail. They really best that round. Come on back. Find out who won this week's Great American Joke Off after this short break. Don't move. That's the end of the show, and in my opinion, the winners of the Great American Joke Off this week are Ismail Lufti, Reese James, and Mark Norman. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Joe List, Chanel Ali, and Glenn Moore. See you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye. The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Luke Moniz, Matthew Bassard, Chanel Ali, Mark Norman, Reese James, Ismail Lufti, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to the Great American Joke Off, the show that's all about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a variety of styles, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start sucking up now. Yeah. We've got lots of great games for y'all, so let's get started with the game we call You Think That's Bad, This is where our performers compete to outdo each other with tales of woe from their lives, which could be their childhood, relationships, lifestyle, whatever. And I decide who's got the worst life. Okay, who wants to start?
My girlfriend's pushing marriage pretty hard, and I'm getting older, so I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and kill myself.
You think that's bad? I've never had a drink of alcohol in my life, ever. Yeah, because I'm Muslim, and Muslims, we believe that alcohol makes people act irrationally, so we don't drink it, which explains why Muslims never act irrationally.
There's no way that joke could get us in trouble at all.
I'm Muslim, I can say it.
I actually also, weirdly, have never had a drink of alcohol in my life because I'm 11.
You think that's bad? I was a smart baby. I could talk when I was 6 months old, but I couldn't walk until I was 2 years old. So there was a year and a half of my life where I was just posted up against a wall like, oh no. I can't move. Can I just get a cup of coffee? That'd be great. Thank you so much. Do you know how unsettling it is to walk into a room and see an infant upright in a bassinet like, hi, how are you? How's it going? Nice weather. Just breastfeeding like, can't seem to quit this stuff.
I think that's bad. I went on a Black Lives Matter march last year, and there was a moment during the march where everyone decided to silently take the knee. And let me tell you, as a white man, that is maybe the worst time possible to get cramp.
You think that's bad? I couldn't find the BLM march, and I asked a cop, which I think might be the whitest thing I've ever done.
You think that's bad? I tried doing improv comedy once, and my friend who was in the crowd said, that was like watching my dad get beat up.
You think that's bad? I went on a blind date with a man who had the biggest butt I've ever seen. As soon as he walked in, I was like, well, all three of us are in a relationship.
You think that's bad? My current wife is super, super jealous. Like, before I left to do this show, she was like, hey, you better not talk to any dumb bimbos after your show, which is weird, because that's how we met, you know? Respect your heritage, that's all I'm saying.
You think that's bad? No one trusts me because I look like the villain in an 80s movie, right? It's hard. It's hard to feel bad for a guy with resting rich face. Yes.
You think that's bad? I just called my wife my current wife on national television.
You think that's bad? My vegan friend is very sensitive. I'm walking on eggshells around this guy. He really hates that.
I think that's bad. One time I was with my girlfriend in bed and I was about to euphemism her metaphor and in the heat of the moment, I used the word vulva. And she was like, ugh, can't you just say vagina? I was like, well, no, I'm referring to the exterior parts. The vagina only refers to the canal portion. She was like, just stop saying that word. And I was like, no, that's like calling your face your throat.
They're still together.
Not after that.
You think that's bad? I just learned what the vulva is.
Vulva. You look like you drive one.
Just because of his bone structure. Now let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or person to say it to. So everyone, your what is weird things to say and your where is in a medical examination.
Oh boy.
Okay.
So let's hear some weird things to say in a medical examination.
Are you a smoker? Awesome, can I bum one?
I'd like to sign up for Viagra, please. Looks like you don't need it.
We will need another urine sample. I already finished the first one.
Okay, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to pop my index finger into your rectum. Okay, well, how do you propose we kill time till the doctor can see us?
Do you have a sore throat? Do you want one?
Yes, I do! Yes, I do!
I'm afraid you're going to inherit your father's low-functioning pancreas. To be honest, he's written the weirdest will I've ever seen in my life.
Your son, he didn't make it. He's a failure in life. He's on a comedy panel show right now.
Hey!
Wow. Baby number 3 really did a number on you.
Ah, I see the confusion. When I said you were going to be cured, I meant in the Italian meat sense.
Oh, doctor, I don't know what's going on. I keep getting like sweaty palms, and then all of a sudden I'm on the phone with my ex. Is there any way that you're single? Or...
I have the results of your Are You Allergic to Chairs test. You might want to stand up for this.
That's great.
I can't believe I have to say this, but no, GoFundMe does not accept sperm donations.
No, those aren't medical students. They just pay me to watch.
Hey, if you're dating a doctor and you want to get out of it, just eat an apple.
Now, it's important to note that me examining your genitals could lead to an erection, but I will try to stay calm.
All right, thank you very much. Reese maybe last the most in that round, so his team wins. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now we play a game called Categories. This is pretty simple. I give out a category and ask the comedians to create as many jokes as they can on that subject. It's as easy as that. So the category is lifestyle. So give me some lifestyle jokes.
I'm a hypochondriac. I think I'm sick all the time, and my girlfriend thinks she's pregnant every day. So, great combo, right? I can't go to her with my weird fears about my health anymore because she just one-ups me every time. You know, I'll be like, babe, will you look at my back? I think I have skin cancer. She's like, skin cancer? That's cute. Tell that to your son.
So I have a cat. And got a cat at the house. I like having a cat, you know. Having a cat's like living with a heroin addict. You know, they sleep most of the day, then right when you think you're getting along, they cut you. But cats don't really care about you, you know. I read an article about a guy who tried to blow his brains out, and his dog knocked the pistol out of his hand. I was like, man, I think my cat would load the gun.
I also have a cat. We just got a new one. His name is Password. My girlfriend works in cybersecurity. I learned the most commonly used password is your pet's name, and I didn't feel like changing mine, so Password.
I'm trying to be healthier at the moment. I'm trying to drink more water. You've got to drink so much water, haven't you, throughout the day? It's so hard to remember. So I've come up with this sort of hack, this sort of, like, you don't even have to remember, it just forces you to drink water and be healthy, and that is, I take ecstasy.
I thought you were gonna say you had one of those hamster bottles in your apartment where you just walk up and go.
Look, if you're gonna mock British teeth, don't do it in such a subtle way.
Yeah, you know, I'm horrible at picking up the ladies.
No.
Yeah. I always say the wrong thing. I remember I met a girl at a bar recently. I take out a condom. She goes, whoa, where'd you get that thing? I was like, well, they were free at the bar. She was like, oh, that's gross. I was like, well, that's where I got you.
Turned 34 recently. I'm a millennial. Yeah, millennials, we thought we were progressive because we fought for gay marriage. We were like, let gay people marry. And they were like, never. And now Gen Z is like, gender is a myth, sexuality is fluid, and a couple is up to 9 people. And they're like, we'll give you gay marriage. Is that still? Drive a hard bargain.
It's kind of a weird time for a lot of us on this panel at the moment, actually. It's kind of, there's a lot of hardship for some of us, because, like, for me especially, my demographic, because I'm a white man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which means hear me out for once.
I'm just looking at who's clapping.
Listen, I'm a white man, okay, which means that a lot of people hate me at the moment, all right? But listen, I'm a white man, so it doesn't matter. It's literally fine.
Chanel, you know, I've dated a lot of different ethnicities. I think that's good. I think it's good for perspective, you know? Because, like, white guys are fun just because they get so amped. They're very excitable. I mean, the first time I took off my shirt in front of a white guy, he was like, holy smokes. I don't know any black guys that say holy smokes.
Still the best night of my life.
Damn you, Mark. Private.
I was a math guy. I studied math in college. I love it very much. It means I'm not a fun person. I try to go to parties. It falls apart. I'm like, yeah! Bros before hoes, before parentheses, before exponents, before multiplication, before division, before...
I'll tell you, I failed math so many times, I can't even count.
All right, listen. Everyone was great, but I think I'm gonna have to give the round to Mike Norman because he is crazy. Now we play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image and our comedian suggests captions. So let's have a look at this picture from an old comic book. What are they saying?
This is my white guilt keeping me up at night.
Is this just what happened if you didn't forward an email to 15 friends in 2001?
No. A lot of people don't know, but this is actually what happens when you don't do your taxes.
I am the ghost of masturbation past.
So this is gay porn.
Sure, the one that visits you as a child is sweet, but the wisdom tooth fairy is creepy as hell.
This is actually a photo of me waking up my girlfriend because I'm excited that the hotel has free robes.
Hey, man, this isn't IKEA. You can't sleep in the beds.
The way he's pointing, it looks like he's going, sorry, did I leave my iPhone charger just there? Sorry, did I just...
He's a recruiter for Young Republicans of America.
We need your help!
Oh, no, my pile of used Kleenex has come to life.
Nice, that's my favorite.
That's enough. I think the winners are Luke Monet, Chanel Ali, and Reese James. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Now let's keep moving with the game called That Reminds Me. I'm going to ask the performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can take turns to jump in and say, that reminds me, and do their own bit based on any thought that's been triggered. So, who wants to start?
I'm very bad at reading, and I've been trying to read more, so what I do is I read the book while listening to the audiobook at the same time, and it works, but I feel like such a little slut that I have to jam it in 4 different holes just to read something. My biggest fear is someone's gonna hand me the book in Braille, and I'll just start tonguing the bumps.
That reminds me, my comedy is a lot like the Polar Express. You have to have the joy of Christmas in your heart to truly hear it. Remember that movie, The Polar Express? It came out in 2004. It was animated, but also kind of not animated. What the is that? The CGI was not there yet. They were like, go for it. No one will notice. This is Tom Hanks. He's the conductor. No. That looks like White Shrek. What is happening? Coincidentally, White Shrek, my nickname in high school.
That reminds me. I was dating a lady, and she was worried she was pregnant, so she got a couple pregnancy tests, and when she wasn't looking, I peed on one. It came up positive. I was like, that's weird, so I Googled it, said I might have testicular cancer. And I thought, whew, still better than a kid.
Question.
Go ahead.
How did the Polar Express remind you of that?
reminds me, I don't get that expression, I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Oh, we're supposed to trust you, the guy who throws people?
That reminds me. I grew up with a guy who was very homophobic. He was mad that he said gay people stole the rainbow. That was like his big beef. Gay guys took the rainbow, which might be the gayest complaint I've ever heard in my entire life.
That reminds me, I love musicals. Now, Mark, that's how you get reminded of something. My favourite musical is Cats, because it combines my two favourite things, cats and men dressed as cats for money.
That reminds me, my favorite musical is Sweeney Todd because of all the white-on-white crime.
They killed so many people in that play. And then they put them in food.
That reminds me, I love yoga pants because you can wear them anywhere. At least that's what I thought before I was kicked out of a stranger's funeral.
That reminds me, I need to stop reading YouTube comments. They're insane. My favorite comment I ever got was, Islam is a cancer, Muslims are rodents. Pretty good set, though. I was so offended. I was like, pretty good.
That reminds me, I was drunk when I wrote that.
Tally. All right. You were all great that round, but Luke Moniz is the biggest, so his team are the winners. The next game is called Sex with Me. And so you all need to go to your zones of innuendo. You're going to be competing to come up with the funniest innuendos based on the phrase, sex with me is like. So, comedians, let's see what you're comparing your sex to. Breakfast. Is it? Show me.
Sex with me is like breakfast. It involves a surprising amount of pork.
I'm scared. Sex with me is like breakfast. I love it, but can never get up in time to have it.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I prefer to have it alone in my car.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I haven't had it with my entire family since I was a little kid.
Sex with me is like breakfast. If OJ is there, it's gonna get messy.
Sex with me is like breakfast. McDonald's is very particular about when you can do it there.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I don't care what you heard. I stopped serving at 10:30.
Sex with me is like breakfast. People can't remember it 2 hours later.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My doctor says I need to stop adding cheese.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I always leave sticky.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I used to get it from my partner, but now I just use the NutriBullet.
Sex with me is like breakfast. My coworkers get annoyed when I do it at my desk.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I love to. Okay.
Oh my God!
He's out of control. He is out of control.
Good Lord.
Sex with me is like breakfast. I want to get it from Luke.
Joke-Off this week are Luke Moniz, Janelle Ali, and Reese James. Congratulations to you. Hard luck to Ismael Lupi, Mark Norman, and Matthew Broussard. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye! You are watching The Great American Joke Off. Tonight's show features top comedians Fahim Anwar, Matthew Massar, Ed Gamble, Natasha Leggero, Alonzo Bowden, Moshe Kasher, and I'm Dulce Sloan. Let the joking begin. Welcome to The Great American Joke Off, the show that's just about the jokes. Two teams will try to make us laugh in a series of rounds, and the winners are whoever I personally think are the funniest. So start sucking up now. We've got lots of great games for you. Is everybody ready? We start with a game called You Know What Annoys Me. This is a chance for our performers to use this platform to sound off about the everyday things that really get on their last nerve. So, who's gonna start us off?
You know what annoys me? The royal family. But there's a group of people that are rich and famous just because of the family that they were born into? Not in America. In America, you have to work for that by making a sex tape.
You know what annoys me? Florida.
You know what annoys me is guys sending pics. You can't use the worst part of your body as a selling point. That's like trying to sell your couch and sending pictures of the cigarette burns.
You know what annoys me? I went on a date with a girl one time, and she made fun of me for my colorblindness, which is, to me, a huge gray flag.
You know what annoys me? Vaping. It smells too nice to be cool. People who vape think they're cool. Cigarettes smell horrible. Vaping's too nice. You didn't see James Dean ride off in his motorbike leaving a cloud of waffles and maple syrup behind.
You know what annoys me? People selling life insurance. Look, I'm single. I don't have any kids. If I die heavily in debt, I won.
You know what annoys me is bees at a picnic, because you can't swat them because they can sting you, so there's a level of respect. Like a bee is basically a fly with a gun. People act the same way too, like, oh no, it's a bee, just be still. Let it do whatever it wants.
You know what annoys me? The worst people in the world, I think we all know who we're talking about, the people who bring their own balls to a bowling alley. There are loads of balls already there. You do not need to bring your own ball. You're not showing up at a sperm bank with your own sample pot. Well, this one's got my name engraved on it.
You are very worked up about that ball. How often do you go bowling?
You know what annoys me is the insult pretty boy. It just sucks so bad being called that, because I have to pretend to be offended, you know? I'm like, shut up, pretty boy. I'm like, no, you shut up. And in my head, I'm like...
That is the biggest humble brag I have ever... You wouldn't get away with that in a UK comedy club. The audience would be up on their feet and go, kill him now.
We traded hairstyling tips before the show, so it takes one to know one.
Yeah, Matthew's like, you know what annoys me? Keeping track of my bank account. It's too big.
You know what annoys me? When you trip over your own...
I feel you. I feel you on that.
Let me feel it!
Yeah, he was joking around. Alonzo's like, 100% yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, could you keep it on your own side?
Put it over here, put it over here. I got space, I'll give it a nice home. Right, that's great, thank you very much. Okay, I think the winners were Matthew, Natasha, and Moshe. Now, let's play a game called What, Where, or Who. This is where we give our comedians something you might say and either a location in which to say it or a person to say it to. So everyone, your what is bad things to hear from. And your who is your roommate. So let's hear some bad things to hear from your roommate. Take it away.
I wouldn't go in there for 10 minutes, which is difficult because that is your bedroom.
My podcast isn't getting any traction. May I murder you?
You know, I think I might just dig a big hole in the garden tonight to really work off the stress of my girlfriend's disappearance.
Harry, have you seen our toothbrush?
Yeah, I just don't think I should have to pay half the water bill if I'm not going to shower at all.
I can't keep track of all the toenails.
Your girlfriend is so pretty, especially when she's asleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna need first month's rent, last month's rent, and a semen deposit.
I'm cooking tonight, so I hope you like meth.
I knew your mom was hot, but I didn't know she was that open-minded.
Is this mole getting bigger?
Could you be louder having sex, please? I'm trying to in here.
Did you know your girlfriend cheats easily?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi password is all caps in lowercase, but all caps is in lowercase, and in lowercase is all caps.
That wasn't yogurt.
Well, if you liked that one, you're gonna love this one. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have used your toothbrush, but technically speaking, my is a cavity.
All right, thank you very much. Point to Ed Gamble for being a handsome English gentleman. Don't go away. We'll be back with more from the Great American Joke Off right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. Our next round is called Get Up There. Two people are going to do stand-up, and I'll decide the winner. So let's see which two people that's gonna be. Okay, Alonzo and Matthew. So you two get up there in the stand-up area. And Matthew, you're going first, so let's see what your subject is. Children, off you go.
My girlfriend and I are not ready for children. We have an IUD. Any IUDs in the crowd? Yeah, no? I'll come around with a metal detector later. I didn't know about IUDs. I didn't know what they were or how they worked, and I assume the women here are already familiar, but I'm a man, so I'm going to explain it with more confidence and less accuracy. So what it is, it's this little T-shaped rod wrapped in copper coils. It goes up into the uterus. I don't know how. I think it's like one of those ship in a bottle type mysteries. Well, IUD is way simpler. It just goes up there, and then you can leave it there for that. That's not where it is. Is that too high? I'm very dumb. I'm like I feel like a Texas governor. I'm like, I don't know where it is, and I don't want to know. That's between you and God. All right, your body, my choice. No. It goes up there. I digress. It goes up there, and you can leave it there for like 10 years before it turns into a diamond. And I was asking my girlfriend about it. I was like, so what kind of chemicals does it release? She goes, no. It's just copper wire. And I was like, well, how did your gynecologist/electrician explain this steampunk cervix? What is it, magic? Is it a Horcrux? Are there side effects? And she said because it's non-hormonal, she had fewer. She said all I had was for a couple days, there was like a rusty discharge and some mild discomfort, and that was it. And I said, that's crazy. Rusty Discharge is my porn name. Here's a fun fact about copper IUDs. They don't know why they work. They know that they do, but the best explanation science has is, hey, paper beats rock, copper beats baby. I don't know. Stop asking so many questions, you know? And I like to think it's up there like a little Olympic gymnast holding the Iron Cross, just like, I got this, just focus on your career. Thanks so much.
See what you're doing. Okay, Alonzo, your subject is medicine. Take it away.
I am a strong believer in medicine. I believe in the vaccine. I got vaccinated early, back when you had to be over a certain age. That's right. I got fake ID. I went in. I told them I was 81 years old. They don't know I'm black. I don't understand the anti-vaxxers, the stupid arguments they come up with. I mean, imagine how smart the people were who created the vaccine. Doctors and scientists, geniuses. And they're like, we did it. We came up with a vaccine. They're like, it's not gonna work. Why not? They won't take it. What? No, why won't they take the vaccine? Said it'll make them magnetic. How do you argue with that? How do you argue with somebody? I ain't taking the vaccine, you know, it'll make me magnetic. You know what I say? You shouldn't take the vaccine. The rest of us are trying to thin the herd, and if we can get rid of you anti-magnetic people, we'll do a little better. I think the only reason they came up with the magnetic story was to make the Bill Gates story sound reasonable. Ooh, don't take the vaccine, you know, Bill Gates is tracking you. What kind of ego do you have that you think Bill Gates cares about you? You think a man with $100 billion is just standing around his living room saying, man, I wonder where Keith is at. Bill Gates ain't looking for Keith. I'll take it a step farther. If a man with $100 billion is looking for me, I'm gonna be easy to find. Every time he opens his door, how you doing, Mr. Gates? Heard you're looking, brother. You know what? I'm gonna go find Keith for you. I'll be right back.
Thank you. I think Alonzo was the winner. Both of you come and sit back down. Now we play a game called In the Picture. I'll show the teams an image and our comedians suggest captions. So let's take a look at this image and see what's going on here.
Did someone say they needed their car buffed?
This is what every Republican congressman sees in his head at night when he shuts his eyes.
Introducing the new American flag.
Accurate.
Both drivers were gay.
Of course they crashed. There is no back to my thong.
Is this what happens if you fart after a protein shake?
I feel really bad for those drivers. They got T-boned and rear-ended.
Don't worry, they're not gonna get more dead back there. Now take the picture.
I heard there was a fire, so I brought the hose.
My clothes burned off, but I'm okay.
Is this what happens when the fire department concentrate too much on their calendar shoots?
Legend has it those used to be bike shorts.
Don't go away, there's more right after this. Welcome back to the Great American Joke Off, where it's all about the jokes. And now it's time for a game called That Reminds Me. I'm going to ask a performer to start talking about any subject. When they're done, everyone else can take a turn to jump in and say, that reminds me, and do their own bit based on any thought that has been triggered. It'll all make sense once we get going. So, who wants to start?
My husband, he's always leaving his socks around, and it would be one thing if guys would just leave their socks on the floor, but he will pick them up and put them by the bread. It's like, why are your socks by the bread? I'm asking you, really, I want to know.
They're not all the way done yet.
That does remind me, my wife leaves underwear everywhere to the extent that female underwear is no longer sexually titillating to me in any way whatsoever. A bra is now just something a remote control might be under.
That reminds me, women ask the most tough and ridiculous questions like, do you remember? No, I'm a man. We invented instant replay because we forgot stuff we just saw.
That reminds me, one time I walked in on a guy on the toilet, and normally when that happens, someone will be like, excuse me, someone's in here. But he just looked up at me and he went, hey, what's up? Like he was expecting me. The weirdest thing about it, he wasn't on his cell phone. He was just staring at the wall like a serial killer. Like he was taking a poop like in the 90s or something. Kids don't know that. That's how you used to poop. There was no Netflix. You just picked up cleaning solution and that was it.
You know, that does remind me. In order to have our child, I had to go to a clinic, and I had to, you know, in the jar. Every clinic in America has adult material to look at. Who buys the porn? Is it the doctor? Please say it's the doctor. Because I love that image of a doctor in his little nerdy lab coat in an adult bookstore, like, in my medical opinion, I would say that deep porn 32 is the best to produce the specimen.
You said who buys the porn, and I pictured a guy who looks and dresses exactly like you.
That has unfortunately reminded me of genuinely the time I did watch some porn, and at the end there was it was in memory of the porn star who was in the.
That reminds me. Yoga pants. They are so sexy. And ladies, don't get mad at me for following you around when you're wearing yoga pants, because you are not going to yoga class, all right? If we're in the grocery store and you need something in aisle 3, I need something in aisle 3.
And that reminds me, buy yoga.
It's funny, Alonzo, I tried following women through the grocery store and the police were called, so I guess we have a different vibe.
It's the mullet.
Yeah, but that's because you were looking at all the porn with your glasses on. Dare
I say, the dairy aisle is the greatest.
That reminds me, straight after the lockdown, I started getting tattoos because I thought it would make me look more rock and roll. But if you look at them now, it's really not worked, has it? Doesn't work with this face at all. It looks like I've added them to myself in The Sims.
That reminds me, why are people getting face tattoos? Like, now if you see someone with a neck tattoo, it's charming. You're like, oh, what law school did you go to?
You wanted to look more metal with the tattoo?
That was the plan.
But you wore that shirt. And he can share them with his wife. And now we come to one of my favorite rounds we call Celebrity Pickup Lines. Okay, make your way to the pickup area. The way this works is that I'm going to give you the names of some famous figures, and I want you to come up with pickup lines those people might use. Ready? Let's try this suggestion. Characters from Star Wars. Let's go.
Luke, I am your daddy.
Girl, are you R2 blank too? Because you look like you could use some D.
Grab some lube, we're going to the dark side.
I'm the dark side your mama warned you about.
They call me Star Wars because I usually come in 3s.
I call my penis Yoda because it's small and powerful.
I swing both ways, so just call me Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Sorry, I forgot to unzip my gimp mask.
To boldly go where no... Oh, that's Star Trek.
It's a better franchise!
I'm a Yoda in the streets and a Jar Jar Binks in the sheets.
I've never seen Star Wars. I'm out of jokes.
2 in the Jar Jar, 1 in the Binks.
Let's try this icon. Batman.
I'm actually like a bat in the bedroom as well. There's a lot of biting and I squeak at the end.
I'm like the new Batman movie, unnecessarily long.
This bat pole does more than go up and down.
Hey, do you want to make out in the alley where my parents were murdered?
Alfred likes to watch.
How'd you like to get a virus from a bat that isn't COVID?
Quickly, to the bat sex swing!
Wait, what about my skin-tight rubber suit and young male gymnast assistant made you think I was gay?